Diane teaches intermittent fasting, and Diane has had a 1 million plus year, if I remember correctly, with a
hmm
course that is under
hmm
$500, which I took and is fabulous. And so,
hmm
what I want to point out to you guys, other than that's so cool and so fun, is I remember being like, "Yep, guess you can do that." Because in my mind, before Diane, it was always you have to sell high ticket coaching, XYZ ways, and that is how you could get to a seven-figure year. And meeting Diane taught me a whole other realm of how one can run their online coaching business. You guys, this is Diane. Hi, Diane.
Hi, girlfriend. So good to talk to you. So my million plus year actually was with my course that's under $200.
Right.
Yes,
Even better.
yes.
Even better.
And the reason that that was possible to happen was the systems that I set up prior.
Hmm.
Because everybody on social media hopes that they catch traction.
Hmm.
A lot of people want to go viral. Viral is that thing that, can be hit or miss depending on who you're getting your content shared to. But when it happens, when you get that traction, if you have things in place, you have to do no extra work
Hmm.
and you just collect from the traction. And so that was the gift that I had given myself.
Hmm.
Now I had been in the business of selling the intermittent fasting course for a couple of years. So it had been proven, the system had been proven. But in that year, one course month had 900 people in it. And I worked no more than I did if I had 100 people or 20 people. And that's really where having the foresight for what you want your business to be when it's not there yet can be such a gift.
Okay. Here's one of the things that I think is one of your gifts that you bring to your business. Like you're a phenomenal mindset coach, what you teach, what you put together, phenomenal. But my spidey senses tell me just the way you described that. Part of it is you having been like you are a married mom and like raised humans. And when we were talking, you guys, we had brunch the other day and I learned so much about Diane. Like when you first got into selling and were like selling towards the reward cruise, everything you just described, like the systems, it's like you didn't have, and my business has been and currently is as we record this messier because it's like systems were not imperative for me. And I feel
Right.
like as a married mom doing a thing, like systems are always imperative for you to get it done and not work 18 hours a day or 16 hours a day or on a Saturday or
Yeah, and I think a little bit of that is just me. I think I would have had that if I was
mhm,
married or not, or mom or not.
mhm.
Because when I was in the military,
Ah,
that clicked for me. The way the military works clicked for me
mhm.
because it was very systematic. It's very procedural. You have checklists you have to run. And like that, I was just like, I felt like I landed on my mothership because I'm like, this makes sense for me. And growing up in a household that was not like that,
Mhm.
you notice those things about just who you are as a person, right? Because it feels like you're going with the grain instead of against the grain finally.
Mhm.
And so for me, starting my business at 50,
Mhm.
I took all of those things that I had picked up along the way and implemented them. And so this is where I really like to send the message to women, specifically in like the 40 plus range, is this is such a perfect time to start something of your own because you have so many years of learning things and putting things into place. And believe it or not, you have your own systems, whether they're the way mine are set up or the way Serena's are set up or just the way you function in life. And if you can translate that, if you have the desire to start a business and be successful in that business, implementing the years of your life into this thing will make it so simple for you.
So well said. Okay, can we talk about, because it's one of my favorite things also at brunch, and you guys literally inspired this Lucky 13 series. When you talked about, because you have a big following on YouTube, and when you talked about how you got started on
hmm
YouTube, so before she even
hmm
tells you guys, pay attention, it like started with authentic love and desire, not as a business imperative, not as a, oh, I have to do this. How did you get on YouTube?
That was an aha moment.
Hmm.
I had a cherry pit fall into my garbage disposal. And like most people, I turned on my garbage disposal thinking it would clear it out, and it just locked up the blades. And so I couldn't get it to move. I couldn't get the cherry pit out. So I Googled how to remove a cherry pit from your garbage disposal. And I picked videos, and this like lineup of videos showed up with people explaining how to remove specifically a cherry pit from your garbage disposal. And my brain went, oh my gosh, people come to Google, YouTube specifically, for answers to problems. And at the time, I didn't really have a business, but I was getting ready to start an online coaching business in like fitness and nutrition. And I just remember that aha moment and was like, okay, any question someone has, I'm going to turn the answer into a video and I'm going to place hold it on YouTube. Like YouTube was literally just a filing cabinet for me. And I would just put videos there. So when someone asked me something, I'm like, I have a video for that. And I would just send them the link for what it was they were searching for. The other thing that I have found with YouTube specifically is people go there to build connection and relationship with people. They're willing to sit and watch a 10 to 20-minute video, some hour and a half podcast people sit through, right? Because they want that human connection. And I think YouTube is probably one of the last platforms that you still have the opportunity to do a true like day in your life or a week in your life, or here's how I make my dinner at night, and really do it in a way where you can have that one-to-one connection with people while also having the opportunity to have a connection with a million people at a time. And I don't think people really understand that about the value that YouTube has in that. The
I
other
do.
thing about YouTube that I'll share too, and I don't know if I said this to you at our brunch, is that I've used YouTube as my commercial.
Hmm.
So I have no problem letting people know what I can provide for them. And it's my time to captivate their attention, provide solutions to their problems, but also let them know that I'm the person that can help them. And I do think that YouTube is one of those last platforms that you can really openly, freely, and very clearly let people know that you can provide them with a service that will help them.
It's like a masterclass you just issued, and just as a testimony to your masterclass teachings on YouTube and business, for me, you made it click. I mean, it literally inspired this Lucky 13 series, and I've not had more fun than I've had recording these episodes. And it's just funny because you had that experience like as a client. And I've been on YouTube and like I have a litter robot, and every time I travel and have a house person like come to take care of the cats, I send them like a YouTube video of how to change the liner in the litter
Yes.
robot. And yet it's
Hmm.
hilarious. It's like never clicked for me before. And it was just
Hmm.
funny as you were sharing how you got on YouTube and then just the simplicity. Did you guys catch that as far as like for your audience? What question does someone ask you? Answer it once. And then you can send the link and it also lives on YouTube. It's so fascinating to me. And it also makes such sense that you've built such a community or audience, depending on the words people want to use, because it's like such love, such like
Yes.
authentic service, not as
Hmm.
transactional, like I have to have a YouTube channel, which previously has been my like, I should have YouTube. And it's just fun how basically you're contagious in the best way, like infusing it with love and connection.
Hmm. Yeah.
So many good
And
ideas.
people get that.
Hmm.
They feel that on YouTube because I do think people use YouTube like they use TV.
Hmm. Hmm.
And a lot of people, you
I
can
do
look at your
sometimes.
analytics, a lot of people watch YouTube videos on their television,
Yeah.
as in place of TV shows and stuff. And so you're in someone's living room, you're in their home, you are intimate with them, and the more authentic of a connection you can make with someone. And when I do a YouTube video, I'm talking to one woman.
Right.
I know thousands will watch, but I'm talking to one woman
That's
directly.
such a big deal that you said that because it's certainly like it's almost a joke at this point. But when I started my podcast, much like when I started my YouTube, I was like, I have to, I have to. People were asking for it, but also like, I have to. This is what you do next. And it was so painful for me that I literally paid my podcast producer at the time would be on Zoom just so I could watch their face, just to like. And for me, it's fascinating that you said what you said because, like, if there's not an energetic connection for me, I'm literally just energetically all over the place and it's just awful, period. And
Yes.
it's just so interesting to me how, as you said, like I would answer the question for one person, not considering the 75 variables that might come into play. Like, this is the question, I'm going to answer it for
Hmm.
this person. People will get what they need from it. I think that's so brilliant. It's that energetic anchoring that I feel, or
Yes.
energetic specificity that I feel like lands is authentic, not with everyone, but with the people who are a match.
Yeah. And YouTube, like all other platforms, has had its seasons,
Of course.
right? And it's coming back around to unedited,
Mhm,
not highly scripted,
mhm,
pick up
mhm,
your cell phone and talk to it kind of thing, not over the top thumbnails anymore.
mhm.
And I love that because when I first started in YouTube, that's how it was. Like you could just pick up your phone. I would balance it on books and have a lamp on top just for lighting, no fancy microphones, and just talk from my heart to people.
Mhm.
And it was so much fun. And then we got into this big wave of YouTube coaches, and you have to do B-roll and you have to do these editing and you have to have text over it. And if you're not on your
Mhm.
YouTube thumbnail, no one's gonna stop. And I think people have really caught on to the fact that a lot of that is so staged and it is not authentic. And we are in an era where people are craving connection and community and authenticity. And so if you have a phone and you have an internet connection, you can have a YouTube channel.
Oh my God. Well, thanks to you, I have one now. And not just like putting stuff in it, it's this stuff. Can we talk about two more things? And I'm like, I guess
Yes.
we have to talk swiftly, but ready? We tell the story of being 100K Diane and like how you came
Oh,
up business surrounded by men and
yes. Yes. So it took me about 15 years to get through college because I didn't have any money. So I went into the military, got a little money out of the military, and was always in and out of registering because I had to pay rent and food and all those things. And so it took me a long time. But I finally graduated from college with a business degree when I was 34 and landed my dream job eventually in the dental industry. I started out as an admin assistant, being paid $10 an hour, which is
God.
why I went to college so that I didn't have to settle for $10 an hour.
Mhm,
But they saw a woman
mhm.
and they put me in an admin position, which there's nothing wrong with admin positions. I
Yeah,
just aspired to be more.
right.
And so I had to fight and prove my way into a management position, which is what I was totally qualified for. And so I was on a performance evaluation with my boss in Canada because I finally got a promotion where I was responsible for all of our international dealers. So they bought big purchases of our product. It was in endodontic sales.
Mhm.
And so they were taking me across Canada to meet all of my dealers. And he's like, let's do your performance evaluation in a bar in
Sure,
Quebec. I was like,
sure.
sounds like the perfect setting. He lights up a cigar, orders a Jack and Coke, and he's with the sales manager. And they gave me my performance evaluation, was less than I expected considering the job I had done.
Mm,
The salary offer was a joke.
mm.
And I said, okay, what do I have to do in this company? What kind of plan can you put me on so in the next 5 years I can make $100,000 a year? That's not a lot of money.
And
A
also
hundred
over the
thousand,
next five
5
years,
years.
like a real, you gave them very like, let's get very granular.
Yes. So they laughed, puffed their cigars, and said, there is no way you're ever making $100,000 in this company.
Mm.
No way ever. No matter what I did, they would not pay me that money. And so I went home to my hotel, called my husband and said, I got to get the heck out of here. And I started a plan to get out and ended up doing this like little entrepreneur thing at home. And in my first 4 months of doing what I'm currently doing, so this is still a decade that had passed since I quit my dental job because they wouldn't pay me $100,000, staying home with kids for 10 years, and then starting my online coaching business in the first 4 months, selling a $47 product,
Mhm.
I made $100,000.
Mm.
And so I called myself 100K Die.
Hard yes. And
Yes.
also, it's just so great. Like, then you would go on to have $1 million year, which I have not done yet.
Yes.
And it's
Yes.
such, I know we were talking about this, so I want to say it for everyone listening because the timer went off and we're running late, but this is important. Like, in particular for women, in particular for as a woman in color, it's like, why would I, as a woman of color, like, why? Everyone do your own thing, but it means everything to me that I get to run my business. Like I get to
Yes.
run my business the way you do. So if I really want to make more, then I can focus that energy on that. If
Yes.
I want to like pump the brakes and like, I don't care about this right now, like,
Yes. Yes. It was so, it's so funny you said that because I was sitting in my backyard today between console calls getting a little sun with my dog. And I was laying there going, this is the easiest thing I could possibly have an opportunity to do. I post a little bit on social media. I do a YouTube video once a week. I
Mhm.
send out an email with an offer letting people know that I can help them.
Mhm.
And I am always going to be in control of my own worth,
Mhm.
value, and revenue. No one can ever tell me what I'm worth again because I get to decide then if I want to make a little bit of money, I do the effort to make a little bit of money. And it, like you said, if I want to turn it up, I know exactly the steps to do to dial it up. And eventually it'll click
Mhm.
because it always does.
Mhm.
And you can make as much money as you dream of making. My first $300,000 month, I was like, I have rich people problems, and that's the best problems to have. And it
Absolutely.
didn't change anything. I mean, the only thing it did for my family, my kids were like, "Oh my gosh, we've watched you for so long, like struggling. Like, look at this money you're making." Um, but there's something that feels really good to not have to worry about money.
Oh my God, I love that you said that. Like, we might have to talk about this another time, as in, especially right now as we record this in the climate globally, it's like, listen, worrying about money is always an available option. At every tax bracket, it is always an available option. But I think some of the people who are hurting the most right now, like their entire retirement plan was, of course, the retirement fund. And it's there is a sense there is a sense of safety, I feel, in knowing that I know how to make money, whether it happens
Yes.
fast or slow, like whether even if I don't think I would ever be getting a job again, but like there is a sense of agency towards money that I wish everyone had both the opportunity and the desire
Yes.
to
Well,
run with.
my philosophy is the money's already there. Either I'm going to grab it or somebody else will.
Mhm. May as well
And
be with.
there's enough if everyone wants to grab it.
There's
So
always
it's
money, Diane.
yes,
There's
yes,
always money.
yes,
Oh,
yeah.
thank you for being a Lucky 13 featured guest. You guys go connect with Diane and you'll want to check out her YouTube channel. Like this, I can tell you immediately. So thank you for being here.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having such a great platform, especially for women, because I believe that if women have their place in the world will just be better.
Mhm.
Period.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
You're the best.
It goes too fast. I love that.
I
I love
know it
too
does.
fast.
I know. I was like, that was 13 minutes.
No,
Jeez.
it was like
I got about
15.
an
I was like,
hour's,
damn
I got
it.
about an hour's worth of stuff I could talk to you
I
about.
know. That's why I'm like, we'll have to have another conversation. But I'm having
Yeah.
fun with Lucky 13 and you inspired it. So
Yeah.
thank you for that. Thank
All
you.
right, girlfriend. I'm super excited for you.
Okay.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.